I think it might be time for a table topics evaluation, and this is what Celeste prepared for us.
Table topics. I love these. I love Marietta's choice of the pictures. It was, and then the questions that you put to us as well at the same time. It sort of gave us another little bit of direction or an opportunity to approach the picture, and the variety and with reference to World Turtle Day was really in keeping. We had a great number of different approaches to the photos, but I love that there was humour woven into every single one of them. I love the different ways that everyone took to approach the question, whether it was just looking at describing something in the picture, or the first thought that popped into their head as we could see they were getting into their getting the thoughts of what they were going to speak about. We even had the pivot. So like with Kenta was approaching it with like he looks like a fat turtle, he likes his food. To like I like all that food and I think we'd like hanging out together too, and I'm going to get him to pay the bill. Really sort of milked everything out of that picture. And yes, and Mofa, I loved how you could describe all the different things, the elements that you could see in a photo, and you really took your time. So I could relate in my experience of table topics, feeling a bit of pressure to I've got to have something, and then when my brain would get tight, and then I'd have nothing. And you just took your time and thought about what you could see and what it meant to you, and we could all identify with that. So that was really well done. So thanks everyone. It was great table topics.
Thank you, Celeste. Is that your first table topics evaluation?
Yes.
You did really well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Our next evaluator is Jo. So perhaps Jo would like to present us an evaluation of Miranda's Moments of Truth. Thank you, Jo.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to be here this morning and do this evaluation of our amazing speaker, Miranda. I've made an enormous amount of notes, and I think if you run down my thing here, exemplary, exemplary, exemplary. I'm always in awe of Miranda's speeches. She does such an amazing job. Her clear pronunciation, her pauses, her slowness, like her things that she does intentionally, her vocal variety, where she said, is there anything you feel we could do better? That vocal variety is amazing. The eye contact, the gestures, our thing that is up here, I can't do it because I've got a piece of paper in my hand, up here, or maybe it's over here. Those kind of gestures I think really added. I was amazed with Miranda's speech, which I thought was very intentional in engaging with the audience. Something that you could work on, and it's really hard to find something that you need to work on. But one thing I thought that might have just been a little distracting is you do a lot of gestures, which is amazing, but sometimes a little bit distracting. So maybe a little less of those. The other one that was the little challenge there was just the timing. So it was a little bit rushed at the end, and I think that made you a little uneasy, and you went a little bit fast. Again, as I said, very difficult to find something to give you a challenge on.
Well done, Jo. Good job. Charlene, I think you're going to join me because you're providing an evaluation of Owie's icebreaker. Thank you, Charlene.
What an honour too. I mean, 2 icebreakers today that just knocked it out of the park. Well done, ladies. How amazing. Owie, I felt you did an amazing job of picking a topic and a theme that really showed us an insight about you, gave you a great structure to your speech, and really took us on a journey through your lifespan, right from 2 years old to current day. So that was really, really, really well done. I feel like maybe there was some coaching and support there from Miranda that helped with that, maybe a little bit as well. But which is one of the amazing things about Toastmasters, isn't it? That we have these other people that we can tap into and use those resources around us. So well done for doing that, for taking that on board and using that mentorship. And it really showed in that speech because it was fantastic. So clarity. I think your pacing was good, especially for someone who, you have been in Australia for a number of years, but there is a little bit of an accent there that us Aussies, detect. So being quite deliberate in your pace really does help, especially being remote over the video, really does help the audience be able to follow and really clearly understand what you're saying. I think you did a really good job of that. Use the word of the day in an icebreaker. Woo! And it was a hard word of the day. It was not an easy one. Your gestures, there's a couple of deliberate gestures that you made sure you brought up so they were on screen, so well done with that. You're looking at the camera so that it looked like you were looking at us, you weren't looking at your screen, again, fantastic. There may be a little bit of nerves there, which is 100% normal for an icebreaker, and that's going to come with time, so no dramas there. Like I said, fantastic topic, well structured, great intro, great theme. The work that I had was, there was a few times there was an audience reaction, a bit of a laugh, just to allow a bit more of a pause and a bit more time and breathing space in. I felt a couple of times we missed the next thing you said because we were reacting to the last thing. So just those pauses and giving a little bit of time for that audience reaction and breathing in the speech. To challenge yourself, look, I said just keep going, amazing icebreaker, you're on a great journey with Toastmasters, I'm sure.
Thank you, Charlene. Lovely. I would like to welcome John to provide an evaluation of Eloise's icebreaker. Thank you, John.
Look, it's absolutely great to have two such great icebreakers, and it really was. It was totally engaging. The aim of an icebreaker is to get to know you. And it's highly unlikely you're going to forget the content of your icebreaker. So if there was ever a speech where you didn't need notes, this is the one. However, so what? Okay. Now, when do notes get in the way? They get in the way of gestures. There were a few gestures, but not enough. The focus was primarily on you handling your notes. I doubt very much that you read them very often, but you look down regularly. Now, this is not a comment specific, I mean, it's brought on by your speech, but it's absolutely every icebreaker we ever see, almost, right? And it's also a lot of 15th speeches that we see, where somebody looks down, and that gives them an opportunity to react. What I strongly suggest is instead you look just above the eye level of whoever's sitting next to Miranda. Now, I know she will, but just about that point in the room, make your point there, then find out who's on the other side of the table and look there. And the whole table will feel as though you're looking at them. But leave the eye contact for a minute or so, well, no, probably for 20 seconds. And that's going to be the difference between a speech that's ebullient and one that's cathartic.